Hello. I don't know if this is working or not. I'm gonna need someone to let me know because I haven't used Riverside to go live before. So, I'm also getting it on TikTok on my phone. Ah, that's why I'm a few minutes late because I just don't know how to get this all working. Where's the chat? Chat? Public chat? Okay. And at gmail.com. And what's my... Because I don't know if it's working. Am I live on TikTok now? Yes. Okay, good. Are you trying to log in? Yes. It is I. Continue. Oh my gosh, I need someone to let me know if this is actually working. Okay, it's got a little 5 there, so it says like people are on it. Okay. Here's my... But I can't see like any chat or anything, so I don't know. Well, I'm going to assume that it actually is working. So I am just over here answering questions about vocal feminization. So any questions that you have about vocal feminization or about the FemVoice Skills, the Black Friday sale that's happening at the moment, please let me know. And I'm also going to do a vocal assessment for Princess Bubblegum and Marceline because those are the 2 vocal genders, aren't they? Okay. So I've got the YouTube open, join. Okay, cool. There we go. Now I hope to get some interaction here. While I'm getting this sorted as well, I've just got these songs stuck in my head. I don't know if anyone's been watching Has Been Hotel, but the season 2 come out, and whilst it's not as good as season 1, I think some of the songs are just fantastic. Like Clean It Up has been stuck in my head constantly. There's an endless stream of trash and filth and hundreds of bugs. Oh my gosh. Stuck in my head. So let me know if that's something that's I can get stuck in your head for you. It's so good. Okay. Now, Marceline. This one. Here we go. I'm going to try sharing my screen. I won't be able to on TikTok. So if you would like to see my vocal assessment of Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, then join me on YouTube. That's probably the best spot. And I need to open up my little Google Slides. Google Slides. Oh, not some random one, though. I need the FemVoice vocal assessment slide. Okay, this one. I've never shared the screen with this Riverside thing either, so I don't know. I'm going to need someone to let me know if it's actually working. You know what? I'm going to message a friend and ask if she can like double check for me because she's the streaming guru. Oh my gosh, my phone just keeps buzzing. Everyone's messaging me right now. Why are you messaging? And now I've also got Nessa, I have something to confess. Stuck in my head as well. It's working. Okay, beautiful. Now I am going to open this over here and put this down here. FemVoice Skills. This one. Okay, let's see if this actually works. So share screen. And this one. Or should I just do entire screen? Entire screen's probably easier. Boop, share. Okay. And then I have to do like the little layout thing and change the layout so that I can actually have it. Oh, I can do like a little picture in picture. I'll do it like this. That's kind of cool. I like that. I don't know. What's better? I don't know what's better, okay? Halvesies. Oh, not available. Full screen. I mean, I don't mind this. Oh, Amethysta, hi. I'm trying to figure out how this bloody streaming platform works. I feel out of my depth with it. But you know what? I've pushed myself to actually just go live, make it freaking work, because I've been avoiding it. I've been avoiding it for a while. So this is me just giving it a go. And Amethysta, can you tell me, can you see my screen? Like, can you see this presentation? I don't know if that's actually working. And I'm going to keep track of the TikTok one as well. And I'm guessing there's probably a delay as well. I don't know how much of a delay. Oh, you do see it. Yay. Okay, that's good. All right. So I'm going to use this. This is just a slide from my FemVoice Skills course, but I've adapted it for vocal assessment. So whenever I do a vocal assessment with someone, which is when I get on a call with them and I let them know where their voice is at with their resonance, weight, pitch, and intonation, which I call the Rupee Foundations. This is what I will use to help them get an understanding of where their voice is at. So I'm just going to duplicate it so that I don't like lose a bunch of things. But we have the resonance and the weight here. So the resonance is from small to large. The weight is this one from thin to thick. And the resonance and weight are really the heavy hitters when it comes to vocal feminization. Those are the ones that affect the sex presentation of the voice. So when people hear a small resonance and they hear a thin weight, they are likely to associate that voice with femininity. They're likely to imagine somebody with the primary and secondary sexual characteristics of a woman. So those are the most important ones. When they are balanced up in this upper left-hand quadrant, then the voice is going to sound naturally female. The pitch and the intonation are not quite as important. They're still important, but they also affect the gender presentation of the voice. So I often liken it to, the resonance and weight, they are more immutable features, whether that's height or, the size, its primary and secondary sexual characteristics, facial hair, all that kind of stuff, that is what the resonance and the weight are going to signal to someone when they hear it. The pitch and the intonation are things like, oh, I didn't mean to move those around. The pitch and the intonation are more so like the clothes that you wear, how you wear your hair, if you wear makeup or not, things like that. So very much the gender presentation of the voice and kind of more of the cherry on top rather than, they're still going to make a difference, but not be the difference, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm just double checking over here because I'm seeing some comments. Hello, hello. Oh, you're so pretty. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Now, continuing. What are you using to multi-stream? I am using Riverside. So it's the platform that I use to record all my podcasts, and it has a live streaming function. I've just never used it. So giving that a go today and see what it's like. So continuing on with this, whenever I do a vocal assessment with someone, I move around these little things to wherever their voice is at. Now, to show you an example, let's analyze Marceline or Princess Bubblegum's voice. Who should I do first? Marceline or Princess Bubblegum? I'm going to pull up I'll put this over here. I always think of this song, the I'm Just Your Problem. And that's another song that gets stuck in my head. Goodness gracious. How do I share the sound as well? Because I don't know. I don't think that's actually... I think I need to stop sharing and then share again to share it. I don't know. Okay, screen. Entire screen. This one. Also share system audio. Yes, share. Okay, now it should work. Right at the beginning, I want to just play this for a moment and just listen to the different sounds of the voices. So.
Let's see if you hacks can keep up with my raw talent.
I'm gonna bury you.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Oh.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. Marceline, that's too distasteful. Just want to check, can people hear that? When I actually play that? That voice.
Too distasteful.
That is very hyper-feminized and very small resonance. I wonder if I can just move this over here and put this over here. That's getting a little bit much, isn't it? Oh, no, maybe that works. If I can close this, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that's better. So, then Marceline's voice when she's speaking.
Oh, you don't like that? Or do you?
Oh, you don't like that? Oh. So often when people begin a vocal feminization journey, they're trying to aim for Princess Bubblegum. They're trying to get that super hyper feminized voice where it's way up here, like this. On this quadrant over here, up here is kind of anime girl territory. That's just very, very thin, very, very small, and it sounds too feminine. Like from my perspective, it's too much. But if we were to see where the pitch is at as well, let me turn this up. Oh, do you not like that? Or do you just not like me? Let's see.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. The pitch is just ridiculously high. Like that is, if we zoom in over here, right now this shows the average pitches for a man. So average pitch for a male voice is around B2 or 123 hertz. The average voice for a woman is about 220 hertz, about A3. Now, I generally say for people to aim for around a C4. Where Princess Bubblegum is going right now, let's just listen to that again.
I'm your pretty pink face. I'm gonna.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. That's like way, way up here on average. So if we take that average point and we bring it up here, it's probably sitting around about here between these notes on average. So that is quite a high voice. And the high it's off this chart. It's like it's it's much higher. The low that Marceline, that Princess Bubblegum's voice goes, we'd have to listen to it over a longer period of time. So not 100% sure right now, but that being average, crazy. So let's now look at the other elements. So that's the pitch side, her average and her high. Her intonation, if we're looking at the intonation, that is like the sing-songy quality of the voice. That's how much does the voice go up and down and all around? Like how much does she inflect with the pitch and how much bounce does it have? So for Marceline, it's not Marceline, for Princess Bubblegum, it's pretty damn high, right? If we listen again.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. Like it's quite bouncy. So we're sitting pretty high up here. It could be even more, just if we're just analyzing that one little bit of the clip, but it's pretty high up there. Okay. Now, if we look at the resonance and the weight of where it is, normally what I do with people, if I'm having a conversation with them, if we're doing a vocal assessment, I would put the average voice of where they're at currently on the map. So I'd be like, okay, your average is sitting around here, where you're able to get to now. So get them to do the most feminine voice they can do currently and go, where does that get to? Okay, it gets to about here, for example. And we're like, what's your goal voice? Where do you actually want to get with your voice? Usually it's somewhere in this kind of range here. So we can map it out like this to show where they're at currently, where they're able to get to, and where they want to be able to get to consistently. Obviously, for this, we would just be mapping out one point because I'm not having a conversation with Princess Bubblegum right now. So we're just mapping out what's her average voice currently. So let me put this over here. Ba, 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 ba. Someone, Maddie, love the fact that you have a better singing voice than most females. I don't know about that. I don't know. My singing, I don't know that I'm the best singer in the world, to be honest. I'd like to take some singing lessons. That'd be cool. Okay, so Marceline, we can already hear she sounds, literally, she almost sounds like a child.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Marceline, that's too distasteful. Marceline, if I bring that to just a whisper, that's a very small voice. That's way up here. And the weight is also quite thin. So overall, Princess Bubblegum's voice sits pretty well up here. It's not like anime girl voice. It's like, so Meliodas. It's like, it's not ridiculous like that, but it's very, very small and very, very thin. So that is what I would analyze Princess Bubblegum's voice at. She has the average pitch around that F4, G3 area. The high of her voice goes much higher than that when she's emphasizing things. And her resonance and her weight are pretty small and pretty thin. So very hyper feminized. And you notice because the resonance is so small, it starts to sound like a child's voice. It starts to sound so feminine and so small that it sounds like it's coming from a child. So that's one of the risks of just feminizing the resonance as much as you possibly can and getting it as small as you possibly can. That is, yeah, most people don't want that for their voice, but oftentimes people will just go to that because they think that that's what they're supposed to do. They think that's what they need to do to feminize their voice. So, something to be aware of. And the intonation, it doesn't need to be that sing-songy. This is like, if I was getting someone to practice their intonation, Princess Bubblegum might be a good person or good character to try to emulate, to practice that. But most people, you'd probably want to tone it down to, around there. You don't want it to be ridiculous. 0 is just no intonation at all. 0 is just completely monotone and not having much variance in the speed. It's just like this. That's a 0. So very rarely will someone be way down there. Usually people will be around the 2.5 to 5 kind of mark. Or if some people do have pretty monotone voices, but very rarely you'll just get fully monotone. Does anyone have any questions? Like, for anyone watching at home who can see the vocal assessment on here, do you have any questions about any of this that we've covered on here? And while I wait for a moment, I'm going to have a look. Matching pitch, that is nuts. As in, like, matching her pitch? Yeah, her pitch is a little bit ridiculous. But also, matching the pitch isn't necessarily the difficult part of it. Matching the resonance and the weight, that's going to be the trickier part. Pitch is the thing that most people have some control over. They've got a reasonable amount of control over the pitch because it's the one that's most easy to measure. If you've got like an app like this, like a pitch monitoring app, it's much easier to measure it. And it's one that people hear pretty easily. They're able to match it pretty easily. But the resonance, on the other hand, if I were to speak in a really, really large resonance, that's kind of a little trickier for people to match. But also, I can have that large resonance like that and shift the pitch. So let's do going down here. I can have a large resonance down at around an A2, and it would sound like this. I can also I can bring the pitch up to a C4, which is where I recommend people aim for with vocal feminization. And it still sounds freaking weird because the resonance is super, super large. So that's how you know if you're down here in this dopey hollow sort of quadrant, is you get this sort of sound where it sounds a little bit dopey, it sounds a little bit this is Patrick. Sounds a little bit like that. And if you were to start down there and have a lower pitch, so let's say, we're getting that resonance really large, and we're getting the pitch down around the average male zone, we're still over here because the weight is out of balance with the resonance. So this is all this is showing. When the weight is out of balance with the resonance down here, it's going to sound dopey and hollow because it's just not, it's not full. If we then add weight to that, and we bring some of that weight through, it's going to shift it over here and it's going to start sounding more balanced. It now
kind of sounds like a true mask voice.
That's what happens when you get those two elements in balance. Just a quick aside, what most people do when they're feminizing their voice is they start somewhere down there.
So, they've got the voice somewhat balanced here. Often, if they're interested in vocal feminization, they might have it like this. They might have it like a little bit smaller, a little bit, often not lighter. Often they keep it pretty weighty on the thick side because that's a trickier one to shift. But the other way that someone's voice can get out of balance is if they start making it even smaller and they get it up into this upper right quadrant where it's too full. So then we get this nasally sort of sound, this buzzy quality, and people often refer to this as the trans voice, or they might call it the gay voice. That is literally just means that your resonance is too small for your weight. So the weight is too thick and it's out of balance with the resonance. So this is the nanny sound. Yeah, the nanny sound is often like probably a little bit more nasally. She pushes a lot more sound through through the nose. The weight often sounds a little bit different. It's got a little bit more of a gravelly sound to it. But this is probably where most people struggle. Most people, when they're feminizing their voice, they'll fall up here into that kind of quadrant. And I'm constantly coaching people out of this to make it thinner, 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 until it balances out and sounds, once, the resonance and the weight are balanced, that's when you get a natural sound. So regardless of whether it's balanced here and it sounds naturally feminine, or it's balanced here and sounds naturally masculine,
both of those are going to sound natural. Both of those are going to sound weird or unnatural. Hopefully you can actually see my mouse. I know the people on TikTok wouldn't be able to, but because I can't, if someone could let me know, if they use Riverside, how do you actually get TikTok to stream live on TikTok through Riverside? I have no idea how to do it. No freaking idea. Because it asks for like a stream key, but I can't find anywhere where the stream key would be, and I don't know if it's just not available in Australia. It frustrates me. What's the other comment that I've missed here? To make sure I understand, you're using thin and thick to mean bright and dark resonance. No. So thin and thick is talking about having a thin or thick vocal weight. So that's talking about the vocal weight. When we're talking about resonance, there's a few different aspects of resonance, but the main one that makes the most difference for vocal feminization is size. And part of the reason for that is because on average, a masc body is larger than a femme body. Obviously, that's an average. So feminine voices typically sound a little bit smaller rather than larger. I think of this almost like if you were to do cartoon characters. A large character, if I were to, voice a giant, they're probably going to sound like this. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Whereas a smaller character is going to sound like this. This is often associated with masculinity. And this is often associated with femininity. So it's about those associations, and the size is the biggest aspect of a feminine voice. If it's smaller, we perceive it to be more feminine. So yes, this one is the resonance. I've tried to color code it a little bit. I don't know if that's clear, but the R stands for resonance. It's pink, and it correlates to these. And the weight correlates to those. Hopefully that makes sense. I asked that question because you're using different words to describe resonance and vocal weight than I learned. Oh, okay. I'd be curious to know what words you learnt to describe them. a lot of people have a lot of different words that they use to describe these elements. And that's part of the reason why the online world of vocal feminization can be really freaking confusing. Like, so confusing. Because people want to. No, that's a bit spicy to say. What do I say here? No, I'm going to drop that train of thought. I personally like to try to simplify it as much as possible. And I will typically just use these 4 things in everything that I talk about. I'll talk about the resonance, the weight, the pitch, the intonation, and I'll talk about it being small or large or thin and thick. I do also encourage people to use the terms that work for them. So if they have a certain association, like a word association with something that helps them to remember the resonance, for example, go for your life. Like, use that association, that's totally fine. And if I'm working with somebody, I generally learn what their associations are, and then I will communicate it to them in that way. So some people might say, oh, my fairy voice to describe the smaller resonance. And I'm like, okay, cool. We want to use the fairy voice to get that smaller resonance. That's fine. So there's room for that as well. One of the big... Oh, actually, before I go into that, resonance implies overtones of a standing wave. Oh, it's got show on stream as an option. I can show it on stream. Where does it show? Is that showing? I don't know if it is. Implies overtones of a standing wave. I get how you use size, but I learned bright and dark to denote the timbre as musical timbre. Size seems strange because the standing wave can reinforce higher overtones without having a smaller size. Okay, this actually leads perfectly into what I was about to talk about. And that is, this can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. So there is a lot of depth that you can go into with vocal feminization. There's a lot of different terms. There's a lot of specificity that you can get with it. And I had a conversation with someone a little while ago, and they were talking about the masterclass that I ran, and they were like, oh, they didn't mesh with my teaching style. They were like, oh, the way that I learned it was about this, and they're talking about various terms like the open quotient and this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay. Their view was that they want to use the scientifically accurate terms, and they want to refer to the studies that are available and like refer to those studies in the way that they're teaching them, and to use the accurate terms consistently. Oh, the live on TikTok just like stopped, and now it's just playing a TikTok. Why is that? I don't know. But suffice to say, I don't mesh with that approach because I personally like things to be as simple as possible, because simplicity means actionable. I don't believe going into all of the nitty-gritty details does people a service. I don't believe it actually services them. I think it causes a lack of action. It causes demotivation. It causes that cycle of learning and learning and learning before taking action. It can reinforce perfectionism. Yeah, it's not something that I agree with massively. Resume. I'm just clicking resume on the TikTok thing. I don't know if it's just because of this phone. I'm using like my old phone so that I can have my new phone here. See, I got a wave theory on you. Well, yeah, you know what? That's totally fine to go into that if it doesn't stop you from taking action. Like, that's the biggest thing that I will refer to over and over is, does this help you take action? Does it help you get the result? And most of the time, diving into the nitty-gritty details doesn't actually help people get the result. And at the end of the day, if I'm coaching someone, that's what I want to do. I want to help them get the result. So, oh, goodness gracious. And now I've got someone calling me. I've just got like these notifications going off everywhere. Maddie says, back on TikTok. Excellent. Thank you. I don't know why it just stopped, but... And I'm touching my microphone. Goodness gracious. Okay. I'm going to get up another version of this, and this is going to be for Marceline. Marceline. Hello. Oh, it already opened. I'm just being blind. Okay. Put that over there. Is it just you and me in the wreckage of the world? How do I get that to zoom to like... Oh, perfect. Perfect. Okay. And you know what, Amethista, while you're on here, I want to ask, what does the stream actually look like from your perspective? Like, rate it from 1 to 10. I want some feedback. I don't know. Like I said, I've never used this platform for streaming before, so I don't know if it actually works well. There's like reactions and stuff. I do like this little heart reaction. I don't know what that does. If it shows anything. Clip mic. Are there other things I can do? Media. What's that do? Wait, what? This is just me like discovering what I can do on here. I can do, what is this? Will this play? Sure, does that actually play through? It's just like a little sound thing. I don't know. And text, what is this? Oh my gosh! Wait, what? How cool is that? What does this do? Show live with Jasmine. I don't think that really does anything. Okay, let's get rid of that. What about this? Add text, customize, show, voice lessons. Oh my gosh, that shows my masterclass sign up. But I must have prepared that earlier. I don't remember doing that. I must have been poking around the platform. Well, that's the, the link to sign up to that masterclass I was talking about. Oh, that's funny. Maddie heard applause. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, there you go. Hello, Carlos. Thanks for joining. Wow, this is so cool. Okay, anyway. I feel like an old person getting distracted with all these things. I want to now listen to Marceline's voice.
Oh, you don't like that? Or do you just not like me?
Ooh.
Oh, you don't like that?
Oh, you don't like that? Or do you just not like me? Oh, you don't like that? Okay. So for Marceline, you might think, listening to both of their voices side by side, that the pitch is very, very different. Like, listen.
That's too distasteful.
That's too distasteful.
Oh. You don't like that?
You don't like that? Oh, you don't like that? Or do you just not like me? Oh. So if we're, copying that, I don't even need to move that because their average sits around the average female voice area. So the A3 is on average where Marceline's voice sits.
Or do you just not like me?
Me. So So that goes again way up, maybe not as high as Princess Bubblegum, but we're kind of getting up in this area over here for a high.
That? You
That's too distasteful.
Oh, you don't like that?
Oh. And then we're getting a low around, I'm not hearing below E3. If we're just analysing that one little clip, the low is sitting around E3, and that's it's kind of in the androgynous zone. It can go either way. So that is Marceline's pitch. In that particular little clip, we're hearing a low of around E3, average of around A3, and a high of around G4. Okay, let's click fit again. So that's the pitch. And she's moving into singing, so you expect the voice to be a little bit more, sing-songy when she's
Marceline,
into
that's
that.
distasteful.
Oh, you don't like that? Or do you just not like me?
Oh, you don't like that? However, Marceline, that's too distasteful. That's got a lot of bounce. Marceline, that's too distasteful. Oh, you don't like that? Or do you just not like me? So there's less intonation happening, there's less bouncing up and down, but it's also not monotone. There's little inflections and whatnot in it. So I'd probably sit Marceline's voice around here. It's sitting around the 7 kind of mark. Oops. And her tone is kind of as though you were reading to a child. If you were reading a book to a primary school kid, then this would be the voice that you would be using. It's very ridiculously animated and very up and down. That's a 10. That's way too animated. But Marceline's voice is still quite animated. Now, let's talk about the resonance and the weight. So let's listen again because we're comparing the two.
Pretty pink.
Marceline, that's too distasteful.
Oh, you don't
Oh, you don't like that?
like that? Or do you just not like me?
Or do you just not like me? Oh, if I were to be, I don't know if the whisper comes through, but one of the things that I love to do when I'm trying to tune into someone's resonance is break it down to just the breath, because when it's just the breath, you can hear the size of the chamber more easily. So if I'm just whispering with a large resonance, it sounds like this. That's as if I'm whispering with a really small resonance. It sounds like this. Again, I don't know if that'll come through. You might just see my lips moving and actually not hear anything. But that's one way you can hear, am I actually shifting the resonance, or am I just shifting the pitch, or am I just shifting something else? Maddie asks, are you still recording your podcast? Yes, I am. I've been very slack with it over the last little while, but I am still getting it recorded. Okay.
You don't like that? Oh, you don't like that?
Oh. So the resonance and the weight are still very feminine.
Or do you just not like me? Or do you just not... You don't like...
Tasteful.
Oh, you don't like that?
In fact, it's very, very thin. There's there's a little bit of that quality, the vocal fry that comes through, and that can sometimes make a voice sound like it's got a higher weight than it does. Like, no one's going to speak with that much vocal fry, but it can sound very weighty when you do it like that. But it's not actually the weight, it's a different element. Amethyst, I have to run. Love to talk terms you use later. Thanks for dropping by, Amy. I'll chat to you on Signal. Bye. Okay, now Marceline's weight, again, it's still very thin. It's sitting somewhere in the average kind of area, maybe a little bit above, a bit thinner than average. And the weight is probably sitting, it's a little bit larger than Princess Bubblegum's. So if we flick between those, you can see the difference there. So the average, oops, hold on. Oh my gosh, where are we? So we can see the difference between the voices, how they shift here. Oh, I like this. This is cool. Let me put this up full screen. If I click fit again, will it be larger? No. Okay. Well, there we go. That's better. Hello. Okay. So the average pitch and the high is very high for Princess Bubblegum, and it's a bit lower for Marceline. The average pitch drops down a bit lower, but you can see the resonance and the weight actually doesn't move that much. I'm going to say the resonance is probably a teensy bit larger for Marceline. Not that much though. So Princess Bubblegum's is really hyper feminized, way up there, and Marceline's is close to it. It still sounds a little bit more balanced. It doesn't sound like it's a child speaking, so it's not quite as small. And the weight is still very, very thin. And the intonation difference is also not that much. So you can see the biggest difference between Princess Bubblegum's voice and Marceline's voice is actually the pitch. That's probably the biggest difference, and also the resonance and the weight being slightly larger and slightly thicker. The other main difference is Marceline adds more of that vocal fry in her voice because she's a little bit more grungy, she's got a little bit of grunge happening in the voice. Princess Bubblegum, no, none of that. Princess Bubblegum doesn't have any of that. It's very smooth. So that would be my assessment on their voices. And you know what? To be honest, I expected it to be a little bit more different, that's good English, than it actually ended up being. So once I actually tune in and listen to it properly, I'm like, it's not actually as different as I expected. Maddie, I miss it. Oh, well, I just posted a new podcast episode this weekend. I've got another one that's ready to go. I've got another one that I haven't fully edited yet. So there's movement happening. There is a new one posted currently, so go and check it out. For those at home, what would you prefer to have? Would you prefer to sound like Marceline? That's too distasteful. Like, would you prefer to sound like Princess Bubblegum, or would you prefer to sound more like Marceline? Let me know. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Go full screen. Stop sharing. There we go. I'm really keen to see what this looks like when I go back and have a look at it on YouTube, because I just don't know. I just don't know if it looks good or not. Who knows? Okay. Oh, that's fun. So just for context for everyone watching at home, if you are interested in vocal feminization, I'm just going to quickly share the screen again. Because if you're interested in vocal feminization, the vocal assessments that I run literally are this. We go through and analyze where your voice is sitting at on average over the course of the call. And I map out 3 points of where your voice is at. It's like your voice is sitting here currently, this is where you're able to get it to currently, and this is where you want it to be. Do you want it to be way up in anime girl land? Do you want it to be kind of average female voice, or do you want it to be more like a lower, more rich undertone female voice? And we map out those 3 points. So I let you know what are the highest areas for improvement, as in what are the lowest hanging fruit opportunities. If I work on this, that's going to make the biggest difference. So we map all that out. We also map out your goals, obviously, your pitch and your intonation as well, but then we map out your goal. What's stopping you from getting to your goal? How can we put a plan in place to overcome those things? That's what I do in the vocal assessment. It involves a lot of questions. We go for about 45 to 60 minutes. But I'm letting you know this because if this is something that you're interested in, twice a month I have a vocal workshop that I run with my clients. And for those workshops, I let 5 people join in just to listen and see how they run. So it's not to interact. People usually just have their cameras off. They're just there to observe and see how it runs. But they can also get a vocal assessment with me as part of that. It's $47 Australian, like $30 US. And they get to listen in on one of those calls, learn from the other students, and then go through one of these calls with me. So if that is something that you're interested in, go to the link in the bio, and it's called the FemVoice Sneak Peek. There's a few spots available for this weekend, but really cool to get some understanding on where your voice is at and what you can do to improve. Okay, that was just a little plug there. My goodness, how do I layout, change the layout? Oh my gosh. There we go. All right. The other thing you can do as well, if you're interested in the vocal feminization side of things, is to go and watch my masterclass, which is this one here. Again, the link to that is available in the link in bio. It's a 90-minute masterclass that goes through a bunch of these things where I describe the resonance and the weight and the pitch and intonation. We talk about some different strategies, the biggest tips that I have, the biggest struggles that people have, all of that stuff I cover in the masterclass. So feel free to have a look at that as well, if you like. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is the Black Friday sale that's on right now. So the Black Friday sale is for my FemVoice course, and it's also just difficult to organize it for each of them because I need to get like a different code for every single freaking product. But it is also available for not just the course, it's available for the group workshops, it's available for one-on-ones as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, one of the best things to do is to book a vocal assessment so that we can talk about that. And yeah, if you book in a call before midnight tonight, which is when the Black Friday sale ends, then I'll still keep the 25% off for when we're on the call as well. But anyway, I want to get my I've lost my notes here. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Well, you know what? While I'm trying to figure this out, any questions that anyone has about vocal feminization, whether it's about resonance, weight, pitch, or intonation, or any questions? What questions do you have about vocal feminization? Let me know. While I just sing Gravity in my head from Has Been Hotel. Storms coming, now you're going down. No running's gonna save you now. And hard rain is gonna fall down like gravity, like gravity. says you owe me a debt. Platinum is but get my hands wet. Like gravity. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it has been 55 minutes on live already. It's gone very quickly. Goodness gracious. So I've been really procrastinating doing lives, and it's something that I want to get more comfortable with because I love actually interacting with people. And sometimes I just put off talking about certain things like the Marceline and Bubblegum thing. I've wanted to do a vocal assessment for them for ages and to just post it online, and I just haven't freaking done it. I just, ugh, I don't know. But if I force myself to do it live, then I don't know, it seems a lot easier to do. Log into here. Questions for vocal feminization, let me know. I wonder if I just started talking like this, it'd be funny to see what comments come through. Like if people don't know the context, would people just start like commenting negative things? I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of fun. At live.com. Oh, that's incorrect. Yeah, okay. Oh, Maddie, that's very cute. Thank you. Given how amazing you are, no one should comment negative. A true trans role model. Thank you so much. That is very sweet. But also, people will comment negative things just because I exist as a trans person, but that's okay. Well, it's actually not. It's kind of not okay. But it's to be expected, unfortunately. 611. Storms coming, now you're going down. No running's gonna save you now. One thing I've been thinking about for a little while as well is doing body doubling lives, like literally just getting on live and working while on live. And I think that would be really helpful for me to just like to just stay more focused and to feel like I'm not alone like that. I really struggle with that working for myself and being in this office just on my own all the time. Like I miss having a workplace and people to talk to. I don't have people to talk to. It's very difficult. I would find it much easier if I was working with someone. It's not okay. You're living your best life. People just can't get that. Yeah. Yeah. Very true. And it doesn't affect them, but there's lots that I can say on that. I'm planning to do a podcast episode talking about the hate side of things and how to actually understand and handle it. Oh, I have so many things that I want to make content about. It's just the hate can sometimes put a damper on things and make it harder to show up. Oh, it's like, what's going on here? Storms coming, now you're going down. No running's gonna save you now. Just got to remember there is lots of love too. Yeah. Yeah, there definitely is. And I always say to myself, the more hate I receive, the more love there is available as well. Because it's two sides of the same coin. You can't have the love without the hate. They go hand in hand. So it is what it is. But Winter, I can hear you rummaging around. What are you doing? It's only 11 o'clock. Or have you not had breakfast? You've not had brekkie?
I'm leaving earlier today as well.
Oh, why? What's it for?
Magic.
Ah. See, Winter's more of the typical trans person. Just gonna go for to play Magic the Gathering. Oh my god. I'm so trans. Okay. Now, before I end up, I do want to share again the Black Friday sale right now for FemVoice Skills. If you haven't heard of FemVoice Skills, it is a program that is all about actually doing the things to feminize your voice. It's a very simplified program. I'm focused on the actual, making it actionable, making it simple to do, and step by step as well. Because when I was feminizing my voice, oh gosh, just having the mess of different terminology and different processes and all different people saying different things, it was really frustrating, really confusing, really overwhelming. So I've created this for that younger version of me, the one that now knows that she is autistic as hell and really likes the structure. So it's predictable, it's step by step, it's to get results without confusion and overwhelm, and learning from someone who has made the mistakes themselves. Like, I've made a lot of mistakes in my vocal training journey, and my goal is to help you to avoid those mistakes. So the Black Friday sale is on until midnight tonight, and what you get as part of the course is obviously you get the course content. The FemVoice Framework is something that I talk about in a lot of my things. So the principles for success, adjusting the voice and mastering the voice. The course is literally the culmination of that. It's the FemVoice Framework in action. So it's all the exercises that you need to feminize your voice in order from beginner to expert. It's in a format to make sure that you are able to actually execute on them as well. So mastering those mindset foundations. There's PDF summaries of the lessons. There's MP3 recordings. All of that is in the course. So everything that I would give to anyone feminizing their voice is in that course. You also get 6 months of access to the private FemVoice community. And that's really more about extra accountability. That's connecting with people going on the same journey as you. It's where I have all of the FemVoice workshops as well. So we have like a bank of, I don't even know how many vocal workshops that you can go back and listen to. There's tons. And there's also a course schedule as part of it as well. So I give people a schedule for over 6 months to break it down literally month by month, week by week, so that you know exactly what to be working on and when in your journey, so that you can just kind of follow the bouncing ball, like do the process, get the result. That's how I like to keep it. So it will tell you in month 1, in week 1, focus on this. In week 2 to 3, focus on this. At week 4 to 5, do these exercises for this amount of time, this many times per week. Like, it's broken down in that much detail. And like I said, it's what I wanted when I was feminizing my voice. So that's what the course is. The code is BLACK25 for 25% off. And the link to it is in my link in bio. And oh my gosh, I can actually put like text here as well and say BLACK25. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Code BLACK25. You can add links to it as well. Does that actually work? I don't even know. I'll go save and show. Oh my gosh, does that show? Code black25. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Well, that's the code, black25 for 25% off. It ends up being $350 less. And overall, that makes it what? Close to, it's like 800 and something Australian, and that means like 600 something US, because the Australian dollar is crap. But anyway. So any questions about the Black Friday sale, please let me know. I can talk about it over the next few hours if you want to send me an email or whatever. But I am going to be sleeping at midnight because I'm a grandma. I go to sleep at like 10 p.m. or whatever. So I won't be answering things when the sale actually ends. So yeah, whatever. Message me sooner rather than later. Not out of ideas says, I don't see any chat from here, but I'm sure it's a tech issue on this end. I don't know. I have no idea. I think it depends where you're messaging from as well. But the TikTok chat is separate. This is like my trial run. I have never streamed using the service before, so I'm kind of just hoping that it's actually working properly. I've got the comments, so I guess it is working, but goodness gracious. All right. Well, I think we'll end it there. We've done the vocal assessment for Marceline and Princess Bubblegum. I've spoken about the Black Friday sale and what's included in it. And we've tested out going live for the first time. Ew. And I haven't got a lot of questions about the voice, but you know what? I didn't actually promote it enough because, yeah, it's the first time doing it. So, woo! Thank you for being you. We'll chat to you on Facebook again soon as my true self. Beautiful. Thanks for joining in. All right. Well, thanks for joining for the very first live that I think I've ever done on YouTube and the other places. I hope it's actually working. I'm just going to go like check all the things now and see if it actually worked. All right. Thanks for joining in. And any questions about the Black Friday sale, or if you want to get in contact about your voice, if you want to get a vocal assessment, you know where to find me. Get in touch. Get to the link in bio. Join one of our FemVoice sneak peeks. Watch the masterclass. There's lots of options. Okay. Oh, it's a dual stream. That would explain it. Yes. Yep. That would explain it indeed. Okay. Thanks for joining, and I will chat to you all very soon. Bye. I've got to figure out actually how to stop the stream. I should have figured that out first. Stop.